A blessed and glorious morning to everyone. I'm very much humbled to be invited by Director Nikki Tutay of the Bureau of Local Employment of the Department of Labor and Employment, and also Chief Ruth Rodriguez of the DOLE as well, to present to you an initiative that we have started last year in partnership with the Department of Labor and Employment. It's called the Philippine Talent Map Initiative, and it's profiling the 21st century skills of the Philippine workforce. So, mabuhay. And welcome to the Philippines to all the WAPES delegates. To start, I would like to make mention several issues confronting our respective economies regarding labor. And according to OECD, skills gap and skills mismatch and misaligned education skills with industry needs, also skilling up of the youth or the out-of-school youth, providing new skills to adult unemployed, brain drain or talent migration, addressing new and emerging skills, supporting needs of aging societies, and being more consistent with the policies like inclusion. And how do we address these workforce challenges today? What we try to do with the government is we start by knowing. And what we try to do is that first, we'd like to say that the Department of Labor and Employment's programs are very much aligned with WAPE's main thrust in improving labor market information and maintaining efficient labor market information systems. And we have three main programs that we are currently implementing in partnership with government. So it's the Philippine Talent Map Initiative. It's again assessing the workforce landscape of the Philippines based on not only APEC. We tried to come up with global skills report by comparing the different economies, at the same time OECD, Partnership for 21st Century Skills, and also APEC and ILO. And then the National Skills Registry program create a database that captures the pool of available talents at the community level. And then Field Job Net Portal, launching of new and enhanced and integrated job portal with LMI survey system and NSRS integration. So the partnership actually today, we're very happy to say that we've extended that partnership for another 5 years. So congratulations to us. And we're very happy that the SFI group is in partnership with the Department of Labor for longer term. And can you go on to the back? Yeah. Another slide, please. If you may, I would like to show you a video that we've done for the government. Perhaps we can skip the video for now, and I can go directly to the presentation. Actually, the video is discussing more about the assessment of the Philippine workforce, and it's kind of bold and ambitious. But we're trying to assess around 80,000 workforce within the next 2 years, and this is in partnership with the PESO, Public Employment Service Office, and now we're also partnering with local government units. And it's a grant coming from our partner Higher Labs together with SFI Group. We presented this to the Department of Labor and Employment as an initiative to help labor market information. So labor market information usually is qualitative. There's surveys, labor force surveys are done. And right now, what we wanted to do, since our partners have assessments, we've created an assessment in partnership with the Department of Labor and Employment to address the skills gap and to have to identify that directly. So today, with the partnership, we're trying to assess 17 regions, 81 provinces in partnership with 144 cities. Actually, we presented to the League of Cities of the Philippines, and we're trying to get their partnership in running it in the local governments units. So it's a public-private partnership, and what we're trying to do with the government is not exactly an easy thing to do, knowing that you have to bring everybody together. But the public-private partnership now gives us access to other organizations like Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It gives us access also to education networks. in order for us to pool our resources together to run a program as big as this. And here, it's aligned again with APEC, OECD, P21.org in Partnership for 21st Century Skills. And what we've done is we've tried to map out the different employability skills as defined by economies and by these organizations. And we tried to look at the things that are very much common. And based on the report that we've done, based on APEC, OECD, and P21.org, we've come up with different skills that I think there are 15 here identified. And based on these skills, innovation, creative problem solving, problem sensitivity, critical thinking, planning and organizing, decision making, multitasking, work standards, math functional skills, English functional skills, and then English comprehension, self-motivation, stress tolerance, and then social perceptiveness and teamwork. Now we can really identify the skills that are defined by economies and organizations and even companies now that are looking for these skills coming from the workforce. So we've created actually the entire portal for that, and in partnership again with government, we have that kind of support. And who are the people we're trying to assess? Actually, we're trying to assess these categories of workforce, from the students, the unemployed without degree, which represents both the out-of-school youth and the adult unemployed, and then unemployed with degree, then trainees, the employed without degree, and then employed with degree. Now that we have categorized the workforce, we also want them to go through something very simple. And we've tried to create 4 simple steps for the individuals to go through. It's filling out the National Skills Registry System. Now what we've done is that we've aligned the NSRS of the Department of Labor and Employment to the actual assessment and building the profile. So after that, we have created actually a survey, personal skills rating as well. And then third, we can take the skills assessment and get the talent scorecard. And then after that, the test takers can go through interview and career coaching. And this is very much aligned to what Mr. Kelly Bird of ADB was saying earlier in his presentation. And for the very first time, I think we're now giving not only a qualitative approach, but also a quantitative approach to getting labor market information through the assessments that we're doing. So the report would look like something like this. And it's very simple. We try to make it not so complicated for anybody to comprehend. So for you to look at your own skills, and then look at the lower scores that you have, then immediately those are areas that you need improvement on. And part of that, you also get a rating coming from the interview process that's part of it. And you can now rate your employability rating. And if you're an individual who has a low employability rating based on the assessment, now you can see, is there a way for us to bridge that with training? Why apply right now when you have to build on certain skills that are required by employers in the market today? So again, this is to have a bigger picture. You can look at the areas where you need improvement, and then we can build on them. And as Mr. Kelly Bird from ADB was saying, how can you come up with training, with skills training, either soft skills, technical skills, and such, in order for you to be able to give a higher probability or chance for these individuals to be employed. I've been a recruiter for more than 20 years now, and we are in partnership. I've been representing Kelly Services as well in the Philippines for the past 16 years. So I get a lot of information about employment and recruitment. And one fact remains. There are a lot of people who come to our offices every single day, but there are broken souls. There are more broken souls leaving our offices because we can't find them jobs. So for a recruiter, I think now helping the government and trying to address the skills mismatch, the skills gap, being able to provide employment to more people now become very, very relevant. And this tool, we were able to show training needs analysis simplified. And if you can see, these are the strengths of the Philippine workforce for the first 1,100 people that we've assessed so far. It's very straightforward for the NCR, or National Capital Region, representing 17 cities in Metro Manila. And decision-making, innovation, problem sensitivity, planning and organizing, and creative problem solving, these are areas that we need improvement on. And it's very direct. So now if you go back to in creating something more healthy and a proactive approach, now industry can now give this information to the education sector and say, okay, if you'd like to increase employability ratings for our students when they graduate from schools, then how can we address these skills that reflect, the improvement areas that we need to build for our own workforce. So basically, the talent map and through the field job net, we can identify the skills gap and skills mismatch in workforce and industry, and be able to recommend education sector curricula aligned with industry skills requirements. And then we can also recommend workforce skills development aligned with industry needs. And at the same time, help the Public Employment Service Office improve employment facilitation. Actually, with the partnership that we've had when we partnered with the Public Employment Service Office, this was very much accepted. But now the question of support coming from local government, also resources like internet connectivity, computers, because all of the things that we're running are online. But the good thing about it, the analytics, we get it immediately. So now we're getting a lot of support coming from other local governments, and hopefully we can build on the information and the data, and we can share it with VAPES. So what we've done actually is what we tried to do with the Department of Labor and Employment is create a program that would bridge education with industry. And with the Philippine Talent Map Initiative, labor market information, building labor market information, creating workforce development programs based on evidence, based on empirical data that we gather, and then creating a more aligned and enhanced education training curricula that addresses the industry needs. We have now bridged the gap, and that actually creates an environment where we can really sit down and discuss it with different stakeholders and address the issues at hand. The starting point is now data and information. And actually, when we're doing this with the schools, when before with the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, there was an issue because some of the the education sector is not very accepting in certain in terms of the changes that are needed for the curriculum. But now with K-12 coming in, being implemented next year, this is a good pivot for us to really start something big with the country in terms of positioning the Philippines and its workforce for the global economy. And actually, we'd like to announce as well that the partnership, aside from the Philippine Talent Map, is also in supporting the government in gathering labor market information, and also in creating a system that's more enhanced, that has all the features in not only for the job portal, but creating an engine that can support labor market information gathering. So we're launching the new and enhanced and improved Field Job Net. Our target date is December, so we look forward to the launch. So again, it's a public-private partnership based on a build, operate, and transfer scheme between the Department of Labor and Employment and SFI Group and Work Global Technologies. And it's not only a job portal that has job search and job matching capabilities, but it is also integrated with the National Skills Registry System. And more so, it has survey data analytics that would support it. And at the same time, it now can be linked to industry, to education sector, and to the workforce. So now, with that, we also have connected ourselves to the actual framework of the government, which supports data gathering from the three different sources, from the SRS, the peso, and the municipal levels. Now we're going to use Field Job Net to be the one that will be in the forefront in getting all of this information. And apart from that, this is one of the web pages. Actually, it's the homepage for our Field Job Net. And again, the job search matching functions integrated actually with the Philippine Talent Map Initiative. And now the labor market information system is also there. So in terms of building the LMI for the Philippines, we can now gather all of these data points. And if you're in industry, you can have current and future staffing requirements be inputted in the system, be able to gauge what are the hard-to-fill jobs, and then get all of this information coming from the education sector as well. How many graduates, what kind of skills do they have, what kind of courses, and at the same time the workforce in terms of their quality, the challenges that they go through when they go through interviews and such. And we can get all of this information and have all these data points and then present this now to the public, present this to government and also to the education sector and to the industry. So we can now identify, is there a supply and demand issue? As far as I'm concerned, being in recruitment for that long and having 14 offices in the Philippines, actually there are a lot of people who come for work. But the challenge is they fail the qualifications that are required by industry. And when we assess them with assessments like this, we can readily see why they've been failing in the interviews and even in the job search process. So actually to date, we've already assessed more than 18,000 people with the same system. But now with the Philippine Talent Mapping, we're assessing more skills there. So actually, the imbalance is actually based on the skill supply not meeting the skills demand of industry. So we have a lot of people, but they don't have the skills that are required. So what's that gap? And that's the reason why the talent map becomes very significant in providing that to the public and being able to encourage education institutions to really address those skills. And basically, it's coming up with a bridging program, and whether they're going to be foundational competencies, industry-related competencies, or occupational-related competencies. And basically, what we want to do is we use evidence-based workforce development to be able to identify these skill gaps and be able to build on them. And now we can actually re-engineer the workforce in that manner. So as we're trying to provide all of these different skills, as required, then we're trying to build up, programs as well that are significant to government, to communities, specifically to the workforce and to industry. And now we can leverage also the current strengths that we have and then be able to help the Department of Labor and Employment in employment facilitation. So now, actually, we can now gather information we can get timely information, accurate information through the system that we're implementing with government. So therefore, we must promote stronger collaboration among industry, education sector, workforce, and community led by the government in building labor market information for better job skill matching of our workforce. So with more people, with more parties involved, with more stakeholders, we can do more. And that's what we're saying with SFI and DOLE. And I think that's the reason why we've been successful so far with all of the initiatives, is because of the fact that we've gained a lot of partners who believe in supporting nation building through the initiatives that we have, through the Philippine Talent Map, the National Skills Registry System, the PhilJobNet. And with that, I'd like to thank all of you and give you a pleasant morning and God bless you all. Thank you so much.